Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is nothing but lip. You're here with Ellis Van Gilder at the real Brandon J. We just got done with Masters Week. I will intro into this that I just left church for Monday, Thursday, and I'm not sure if I prayed for forgiveness that I bashed Rory McIlroy or if I just felt like I needed to absolve that dirty, dirty week of golf. I'm going straight to you, Alice. How did it feel? How did it feel? Rub it in.
We have dried the tears, both Rory and I. We may become knights, as I just heard that the knighthood may be the next jacket that we put on.
Ridiculous.
Well, we are
Just
feeling
give that
good.
stuff out like candy.
We have shed the weight, so I couldn't be happier. I don't really care what happens the rest of the year. So yeah, feeling good over here in the VG household.
Brandon, did you shed tears as well? Were
Not
you guys
at all.
hugging each other?
I
Or
didn't
what's
have
going
I didn't
on?
have tears. I was very happy for him, but to be completely honest, I was very inebriated at the end of that round.
Was that
So,
due to the stress? Or
no, it was due to
that
where I
just
was. We call it a bond dinner. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We were at a bond dinner at my local club that I'm at, and it was open bar for about 5 hours during the Masters tournament, so got a little rough.
well,
Rough.
so you and Ellis were rewatching the ending for two separate reasons. You're trying to figure out what happened.
Ellis
Ellis
called,
was
yeah,
just
and Ellis
reliving the
called me about
glory.
5 times throughout that last hour or something. Like we kept on calling each other, and I'm like, all right, I'm giving up. Like I don't know what's going on. Is he in jail? Am I supposed to come bail him out? I couldn't do nothing. I've been drinking, so
I
Great
felt
day.
like that was the most Rory way to win a tournament. Just tried giving it away, roller coaster round. At the
it
end of
was
the
a fun
day, he got
Sunday.
it done.
It was
It
a
was
fun
a fun
Sunday.
Sunday. That was what Sunday for the Masters needed as far as ratings, right? I mean, you got to think if he would have won by 5 and carried that in, people would have tailed off. Instead, you got people tuning in and watching it. At what point did you start getting nervous, Ellis?
Around 2 a.m. the morning of.
The day before.
I woke up. I swear to God, I woke up
Sweating.
and I told, I was just nervous. I got up, got a drink of water, and then I literally went to sleep, just rewatching the round on Saturday. Super nervous. Played golf Sunday, more or less, just to take my nerves, or take my mind off of it.
Oh, I
Ridiculous.
love it. I love it.
I had somebody
So,
aside from Rory Masters tidbit. I had somebody I knew that went to that practice round was canceled, and
Oh, really?
I was
Monday?
talking to him today, and I was so what did you do? He goes, well, I flew out of Chicago, flew all the way down there, got in, and as soon as I got through the merch line, it canceled, and I just walked right back
Oh.
out. And I was like,
At least you got
oh
through the
my
merch line.
God. He goes, yeah, but good news is, my buddy will get, we said we're going to go back for the practice round next year. And I said, well, I mean, if he gets tickets, he goes, no, they said that we'll get tickets. I go, no, I mean, they've done it before where they've given 50% of them guaranteed, and then the other 50 are just. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah, you might want to look up on that. He goes, well, that would be pretty terrible. And I'm like, you got your
I
merch.
think-
And he goes, yeah, I have.
I
You
think
got
that
merch,
they
you
did
got to
say
see the clubhouse.
that they're giving 100% of. I think they're doing
Yeah,
that.
because I don't think they
stuff.
saw any of the round, any of the practice round this time.
Yeah,
But the
that's
last time they
disappointing.
canceled, it was mid practice round. So they had, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Warren, did you see any stats on the final round ratings of from a viewership perspective?
I have not seen anything yet, but then it just may not be released yet.
Man, it's got to be pretty high. I mean, you take a pretty close horse race. Anything could happen up until the final moment, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you had a lot of hype going into it with Bryson and him. That was the anticipation, right? It's obviously not what it turned out to be, but it was a good buildup, right? I mean, you got two of the biggest stars going head to head potentially.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to Bryson? Like, it felt like it was, he had an edge on Rory. Just he beats him in the last major. He's like the big dog. That was very surprising. I did not see that happening.
Yeah, and almost too bad. I think it would have been a better storyline, but at the end of the day, what we got was pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, it
Then
was pretty
one
good.
of 6 people winning the Grand Slam, you think that's a better story? It's a good storyline. That is not a better storyline. No way.
So we'll move in. I know you got some thoughts on how the live guys did. Speaking of Bryson, so had Reed up there, Bryson up there.
Reed almost played himself into the playoff.
Yeah,
2 strokes
yeah.
away.
I guess. What was your thoughts on those guys?
I mean, I think they played better than I expected them to be honest with you.
And the weird thing is we were talking about the cut line. You had noted, I think, 7 guys made it, 5 did not. I think it was almost more
something like
surprising
that.
who did and who didn't. You had Brooks falling out, Phil, who's
Yep,
been playing
DJ.
good, fall out, Sergio, who just won a tournament, fall out, DJ, who won 3 years ago. It was almost surprised who made it more than and didn't. And you got written down how. Let's take a look at the standings. Obviously, we know the number 1 that you guys picked from last week. How did we do last week on the picks?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You better have done the research.
Well, I have not actually. But I should go through and add up I will for the next pod I will, but just for a recap, Brandon had Rory winning. Warren had Tyrrell Hatton winning. Good pick though.
Top
He
10.
sucks. Terrible name.
Bobby had Scotty winning. I had Rory winning. So let's see if there's any other notable names up there. Bryson was a big pick for a couple. Joaquin Neiman. What did Neiman finish?
Top 20, I believe. Not great, but not bad. I think
Warren,
you
had
Ludwig,
Morikawa, Ludwig, and Nico Echevarria.
my boy Nico was top 10, and then he decided to go plus 12 on his final round.
I didn't see. Is that really what he shot on Sunday? 12 over.
12 over on Sunday. So that was
84, huh?
Yeah, pretty rough round. I actually thought one of the top. We're gonna move to the top Masters moments. I'm gonna go outside the box on this one. I'll lead things off. Nick Dunlap comes out day 1, shoots 18 over, shoots a 90. If I'm that guy, I claim a back injury and I walk out. Instead, he comes back and shoots 2 under the next day.
Yeah, like a 70, I think, or 71.
I thought that was kind of a cool. I mean, obviously, it had nothing to do with the tournament, but I thought that was a cool moment overall, just to fight through and post the impressive number the next day, and the more difficult day. So, what about? I'm passing to you, Brandon. What was your favorite moment?
You know what? My favorite moment, honestly, was Thursday and Friday being able to sit at work all day and watch it. So,
yeah.
Not that I can't do that for regular tournaments, but I do not tune in for regular tournaments. I like the limited field. I like featured groups. I like just being able to focus on the guys that actually matter. I know we complained on the last one that was, oh, we hate the coverage, this and that. Honestly, I don't need to see Patrick Reed. I don't care about him. Show me the guys that I care about. Show me the stars. Show me the people that are popular. I'm okay with it.
But to
In this tournament, if I want to watch Patrick Reed or whatever, I'll turn it into live because whatever. But I mean, in reality of things, I didn't have a problem with the coverage. I don't think I had. I don't know. I don't think I had any real complaints. I thought it was paced well, and I like being able to watch it on my computer easily enough without logging into 90 different things. I like, I hate to say it, I don't want to stream 9 different things, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was pleasantly surprised after we made all those complaints.
Yeah, no, I still a little gripey about it whenever you sit there and you're watching Bryson shoot 6 under and he's got no shots on the TV. Instead, I'm watching somebody shoot 2 over par. That's irrelevant in the tournament. So, but that's neither here nor there. I've already passed that gripe on. What about you, Alice? Favorite moment? I'm
Well,
gonna guess I
outside-
know which one it is.
I mean,
I have a couple, so I think I've earned the right. Just like Rory said, we've earned the luck that he got. I think I've earned a few. One of my favorite moments outside of Rory draining the putt was learning that the iconic shot of Rory on the green at 18 when he's like leaning back and he's fist pumping was photographed by Ken Griffey Jr., who was apparently one of the most like notable photographers on the course. I didn't know this guy's a photographer.
there's 150 photographers. He's the only one anybody has ever heard of. Yeah.
So that's
Cool. Don't get me
hilarious.
wrong, it's cool.
Now, is that really him, or is this a different
No,
guy?
it's him.
No, it's
Yeah.
Ken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had
And he
media credentials, and they obviously promoted his shots more than everybody, but he did get good shots. I can't argue it, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
you're also putting him right in the forefront.
Right. Oh, of course.
CBS
And I'm
is
sure,
like, put this guy
to
up
your
front.
point, so many
Yeah,
other
that's
people
cool. That
clicking
is
on
cool.
that camera. But so
That
that was
is
a fun
cool.
one. I also liked the fact that in Bryson's interview afterwards, he complained about Rory not talking to him all day, I think is what he said, multiple times. So I think little whiner, but get over it, Bryson. We're playing for the green jacket here. He's not going to talk to you about your YouTube channel and you hitting over your house. Rory could give 2 what's about that. And then
Was he really upset about it, or was that just an
Yeah.
offhand comment? He was.
No, they asked him like 3
Interesting.
times. Yeah, you can look it up. He was pretty heated about it. And then favorite moment, probably number 3, would be Thursday afternoon, watching the Masters, having some beers, and the big old taste of the Masters kit shows up, and I run downstairs. I'm getting it and hauling it back up and tearing open the chips and the egg salad and stuff. That has to be pretty high up there.
Kid on Christmas over here.
Kid on
Just
Christmas.
opening big
That's exactly right.
boxes and love it. So
I'm
none
still
of the favorite moments were the 5-iron around the tree or the wedge to 18. None of that, huh? It's the
those
box
are
of
up there. I
goodies
think I
and
gave
the
myself
coverage.
3. I think I'll save it with that. But some historic shots. I mean, we all remember Phil hitting out of the pine straw on, was it 13, the par 5? I always mix it up. But Rory had 2 incredible back-to-back days where just hitting great shots on 13. And then
So I'm
Not
always
so
good
great
for
job.
one stat. The one I saw earlier today, which I thought was really interesting, was his shots on 15 and 16 and 17. Right, 15 was the 5-iron around the trees. 16 was the par 3 that he hit to 8 feet, and then 17 was I can't remember what club it was, about 3 feet, 2 feet. Those 3 shots. They do shot probability, and there was 1 in 26,000 chance to hit those 3 shots, which that means you could give every pro 26,000 chances to do that, and only one of them would do that. I thought that was pretty interesting.
that is a great
like-
stat. And that's what a crazy sport where that's like the case. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's like me in a 20-footer. It's about a 1 in 26,000 chance that I'm going to put it at. So, which we'll move to the next topic. It is starting to be golf season. We got one round in together, a couple weeks ago. Brandon, I think you got some thoughts on yours. You got a outing coming up tomorrow. What's going on?
Well, if anybody's actually going to watch this and pay attention, you keep on seeing me look to my side because I'm blowing up a text message thread right now. I'm not even looking
What's the
forward to it. I was looking forward to golfing tomorrow. I'm taking
What's
a day
happening?
off. It's a Friday, so I'm taking a day off. I'm taking all day. It's like a group of 60 guys. It's always the same Friday, Good Friday. And there's a group of 12. There's 3 groups that one of my close friends puts together. Well, he started a text message thread with us 12 in it, and meet here early, blah blah blah. Okay, that's great. Then all of a sudden, about an hour ago, before we started this thing, he texts, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get here early so we can randomly draw for teams." And I'm like, randomly draw for teams? I go, why? We're just golf. It's nothing. It's just show up and
Right.
golf usually. And I said, well, I politely asked if I could just golf with my close friends, like, because I have close friends and I don't know 6 out of the 12 phone numbers in this thread. I don't even know. I don't have them saved. And he goes, no, you'll be fine. You know all these guys. I said, okay, well, they're not saved in my phone, so I don't know them that well. And he goes, oh, no, you know them because we're kind of from a small town or whatever. And he starts naming off names. I'm like, yeah, I do know who these people are, but they're not my friends. And he goes, you'll be fine. I said, well, I'm taking a vacation day from work to golf with my friends. Instead, you're going to pair me for 5 hours because it's not a scramble where we're all shotgunning. It's everybody goes off the same tee all in a row, and there's 20 groups. So I'm taking off a vacation day for this. So I'm a little salty right now. So I've been dealing with this on the side, texting my close buddies. I'm like, if he's going to randomly draw, I'm going to randomly rig this stupid thing because just my luck, because I'm complaining about it, I'll be randomly put with 3 out of the 6 that I don't know. He goes, everybody, you'll know somebody. Well, that's great. Okay. Then they want to put money on the scrambles and bullshit. I go, hey, first of all, Warren Swanberg, we're not just going to throw money on people that I've never golfed with. I've never golfed with 7 out of the 12. I'm not putting money on this. I'm not putting money on this. I'm not even a good golfer. I'm not putting no. So I'm a little
You
fired
gotta
up
tell us how
right
you
now
really feel about this.
these amateurs running golf stuff. To kind of preface on what we do, when we run games or anything like that, we have a very good sense of where everybody's play is generally. So
Right.
even though somehow Warren's stats always rig it in his favor, we generally start off on a very good foot where I know how many strokes I'm getting or giving or vice versa or whatever, and it is semi-fair. This is just not fair. This is not going to be fun. I could be with the 3 worst golfers as long as they were my buddies. I wouldn't care because it is a very social event tomorrow. It's still April in Illinois. It's going to be soppy wet because it's been raining all day. So now I'm fired up. Fired up.
I will say I don't
Am
know
I
how it always
justified or am I
happens.
being crazy? Am I justified?
No, I mean I get it. We do trips. A couple of years ago, we went to Alabama. There was only 8 of us, right? And there was
There's 7 of us.
7 with us, and there was mix and match it. I was the one creating the teams, and you're always trying to create camaraderie between the teams.
Right.
But I think when it ended, the 3 of us are the closest to each other. We never got to play around together, right? Because we've always wanted to
Those
patch
3
it.
of us were never around. We played 4 rounds.
Yeah, 4 at least. There might have been more,
right?
and
4?
that's how it happens sometimes when you run
group of 3
those.
never got
And
Yeah,
it's
true.
definitely frustrating because at the end of the day, you want to play with your friends. So
Well, yeah, you want to play with friends. I'm paying for this. It's not like it's like showing up for free dodgeball in the park. No, it's a $50 round of golf. Like and then we're gambling on top of it. I mean, what are we doing here? What
at the end of the day, though, I will say, every once in a while you do those things, you make a new friend and you find somebody that you
Oh,
really
there
enjoy
you go.
playing with.
That's a very
You're being very positive. But again,
That's the positive.
I know all the people I don't know who are not my friends. I know who they are. I don't need to make friends with them.
what I was
One
gonna
of
say.
them-
You probably
One
would
of
be if
them,
you
one
could.
of them is my buddy's old neighbor, and I said, Tim, and he goes, yeah, and I go, yeah, we went to high school with his daughter. Like, what are we talking about here? And he goes, well, he's retired now. He has time. I go, we don't have any other friends. Like, we don't have anybody at 40 years old that wants to play golf. This guy must be 65.
You said there's 60 of you guys going. Was that
So
the number
yeah,
you gave me?
so my
How do you
my
organize
buddy-
60 people?
My buddy's
All going
dad,
off the
my
first
buddy's
tee.
dad has been putting on this Good Friday scramble or whatever, Good Friday golf outing I've played since high school in this every Good Friday. Well, maybe I've missed a couple over the years, but it's been been at least 20 years, and it started off with him and his work buddies because where he worked, he's retired now, but where he worked gets Good Friday off, religious honors or something. So they were always off. So he started it, and then his son, who's one of my best friends, started getting all of us together, and here we are 20 years later, we're in it, and I think it's
cool.
up to 60 guys because it's just, I mean, we got 12 of them, just my friends, and then my friends. So 6 of them are not, but a couple had to back out, to be fair.
Yeah,
But,
that's pretty cool. You know, we just got back from Missouri. We do a trip down there every year, and it's 16 of us, and it's people that, you know, I haven't lived in Missouri in, I would say 9 years, you know, and this is the time you get back to see them. That's what these events, and I think that's one thing that's great about golf in general, is it can bring people together and you meet new people every once in a while. There was a couple new people this year, and I
did you
went
get to
ahead
play with
and
those new people?
I did, you know, and they're interesting, you know, at the same time, it's still nice to have a few people, you know, that it's easy with, but you know, I didn't have anybody to share Fireball with. So that was the disappointing part of the weekend. I made one birdie and I celebrated by myself, which was a little disappointing. Other than that, I think I shanked about 16 balls. So if there's any bad golfers watching, I am right there with you this year. So I think I got about 3 balls in the air all day Sunday. So it was a round. So it happens. It happens. Ellis, you just had a good round, right?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, how'd those new wedges turn out? You got some new wedges,
Oh,
right?
yeah, the new wedges.
Those were the ones. That was one of the ones that were working. You know, the wedges work. It's just the irons.
We could give them a shout out. Where'd you get them? Where'd you get your wedges from?
Tried out a new place, Sub 70 out of Sycamore. It is a direct to consumer place. Direct to consumer, so prices are very affordable. Mine's got American flag on it. I'm gonna have to bring it next week and show it to you. So proud supporter of USA whenever Ryder Cup comes around here later this year. I don't even need. See, you got the Dunes going on. So
we are not sponsored by Sub 70 or American Dunes, but one day. Tobacco.
Yeah, but those were the ones working. The spin was good on them. Distance good.
Cool.
Have no complaints there. It was just the pings that I took out back and almost snapped across the knee. So
that's how you get new golf clubs. You just snap.
Brandon says he always knows when I'm playing well. I'm interested to hear what this is.
You know, this is how I know that you did not have a good weekend playing golf, because if you go back in our like test message threads from the same weekend every year, if you're doing well and you're competing, you will literally text us like the stats and the scores and stuff, because you guys have, for the listeners out there, they have they have this Excel spreadsheet they've been tinkering on for like 40 years or some bullshit. And you will tell us those stats, Warren. And we didn't hear a peep out of you. Peep the whole weekend. So I knew you were not
doing. And I can bring somebody on. I did not play particularly well on Saturday. I was in first after day one.
Day one.
I was the number one individual winner. Shot an 82 at a hard course.
Nice. Good round.
There was, we had the thing that gets skewed in those things, if anyone ever tries these tournaments, is we had a guy that was 60, I believe he's 66 years old, and hits the ball like 250. Well, they get to pay on the front tees. And sometimes on some of these courses, you're 40, 50. I think one hole they had an 80-yard advantage. So he hits as far as me off the tee, plus 80 yards. So everybody else is hitting, driver to
that's a pitching
5
wedge
iron.
For me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So they're hitting driver 5 iron, and we're all hitting driver 70-yard wedge into the green on the hardest hole in the course. So when you get somebody like that on your team, it totally skews everything. Yeah. Because I was hitting wedges all day long. I think I had hit about 5 irons the entire day. So
that's cool.
That's one thing you got to be careful on those types of shambles, is it can really be helpful.
Fun antidote. You mentioned about snapping your clubs, and I was at the bar the other night with a buddy, and I've never golfed with him. It's a newer friendship. Okay. Well, I just got done saying I don't need friends, but it's a newer friendship. We serve on a board together or whatever. And we were talking about golf, and he's apparently he's a +1. And I'm like, you're a +1? And he goes, yeah, dude. Why? And I go, all right, whatever. He starts talking. He goes, you want me to prove it to you? And I said, we're in the bar. Like, what do you mean? He pulls up his app and all his rounds that he entered, and he has like a 65 entered, a 70, a 68. I go, okay, all right. I go, and I look
You
closer.
win.
I look closer, and I go, does that say Swan Hills? He goes, well, that's the league I'm in. I said, okay. He goes, I'm like, you're. All right, cool. And to those listening, Swan Hills is a muni by us that is completely wide open, the flattest greens in the world, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we continue to talk, try and get this story out. But I go, what would you shoot at one of the nicer country clubs in our area that have tougher greens? He goes, I would expect to break 80. And I go, okay, so you're saying you just shot a 31 on 9 at this, and then I go, that's a huge swing. He goes, well, yeah, because I mean, if I'm much over 80, I'm snapping clubs, blah, blah, blah. And I go, for sure? He goes, oh, yeah. 85, I might snap a couple. Like, Jesus, 85.
So
And
you
he
got
goes,
an anger issue.
and
Yeah.
then he goes, what kind of handicap you got? I said, well, I'm a comfortable 15, 16 on a bad day. And he goes, oh, so like, yeah, if you hit higher than like a 92 or something, you're snapping your clubs, right? I go, Jesus, I had 92. I'm taking fireball shots with my buddy Warren right now. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I go 2 strokes away from breaking 90, and I'm snapping clubs. Let's calm down. So I'm like, Jesus, you're snapping clubs at an 80 something. I go, you're kind of a nut
Yeah.
job, right? And he goes, yeah, I can get a little neurotic about golf. I go, no shit, really.
So somebody I'm not taking into a scramble on because he's gonna be pissed whenever I shake an iron at one.
Scramble might be good. Take him. I don't know. I told him. I go. We'll get out on the course, and I'll be the judge of how he plays. But I got multiple. All of us have. We have multiple friends that are scratch golfers, and I got multiple people that now there's like 4 or 5 of them I know, and
Right.
they're scratch golfers on their home turf.
Yeah.
Which, especially the 2 that I know now, he's a scratch golfer at Swan Hills, and we have another one that's a scratch golfer at a country club. We have our buddy Lakey that's been on here. He is a scratch golfer, arguably a lot, even on hard courses. So like he's kind of the exception because most of these guys that claim they're scratch golfers are in leagues at the same course. They know the pin locations, know all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting that he would swing 10 strokes on a difficult course.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said of not all handicaps travel the same, right? And I think I've looked at that before. If you take me, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a 14 handicap. If I go to Florida and play where there's water everywhere, I'm going to shoot 20 over all day long, and lose a ball. Or the RTJ courses where if you're off the fairway by 6 feet, your ball's gone. So like, I always felt like here we have very safe courses, but that might be munis everywhere. Where if somebody has a handicap where they play exclusively at a difficult country club, that's a whole nother ball game. Like, I don't know if it's something to do with their scoring system. It's not quite accurate.
Yeah. No, I mean,
stuff, right?
We've talked about this a lot. I mean, we keep spreadsheets when we all travel, like the 4 or 5 of us or whatever. But yeah, it's different. I mean, playing in the Midwest, your misses aren't as penalized as they are down south or on the East Coast. So I mean,
well, correct me if I'm wrong. The slope and stuff is supposed to take into that account. 'Cause you go off the index, not your handicap. But like,
yeah.
But we know some courses that are super hard, Ellis. That like you don't get that much more for this super hard course. We know it's so much more difficult. So like it's not accurate. I mean, it is kind of, but it's not.
A lot the slope if you Blackstone that we all play at around here in Marengo, like this, it's a pretty tough course because, it risk reward, but then you go to like the Ocean course and the slope is only like, let's say 4 or 5, clicks higher. And it's like, no, that's not the same thing.
No, it's not. So,
but
who sets the slope then?
Paul.
Who sets?
Some guy like, I said Paul. I'm kidding. Some guy like Paul.
Some drunk guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they set it. I mean, how do they set it? Do they take a bunch of rounds? And I guess I've never looked. And this might be a good conversation for a future podcast. I don't know.
I will write it down.
Because
That's interesting.
yeah, I don't. There has to be a reason. And like, okay, what's the slope at Augusta, which is arguably a very difficult course, versus slope at your local muni? And if it's not that much different, it's like, well,
even if it's 8 strokes different, like that's not enough.
No.
on a
no,
course like
yeah.
that.
So not to the normal golfer, but I mean, in this day and age, I feel like golf is getting so popular. People are playing the same course over and over and over. And you're saying
Yeah.
you're a +1. In reality, you might be a +5 at that course, or whatever it may be. Like, if I play the same course over and over, which we do play courses quite often the same.
Sure.
I mean, but I don't feel like it's. I mean, if you're playing them 3 times a week, I think handicap's different than going somewhere else easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
The last thing that I would say about that, like that conversation, is there is a difference too. Like getting on an airplane and traveling, you got nerves, you got excitement, you got like the night before stogie that you don't usually do in the booze. So a lot of times the scoring is affected by that as well. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, so.
Well, and we've talked about Blackstone before, which is a really nice course on the outskirts of Chicago. Knowing where your misses are, like in some courses, there's one by us, you can miss anywhere around the green, you can get up and down. There's some places on that course, you got to know that you can't go right here. If you go right here, it's an automatic chip across the green and two putt in. And when you go to really nice courses or hard courses, those holes are all over the place, right? Pros talk about it all the time. You can't miss, short and left on hole 2 at Augusta when the pin's on the left, or you can't miss right when it's on the right. Like there's areas you cannot go. And when you play a new course, you travel, you don't know where any of those areas are. You just get up there and you go, ah, shit.
Right.
Mark me down for an 8, boys. I'm going to find you in the cart.
And 2 examples of that course that we played with 2 weeks ago, I don't think anybody played very well by any means. And it wasn't a hard course or difficult, but we've never played it before. And we didn't have the GPS or any course knowledge at all. And there was weird breaks in the fairways and stuff like that. And we had no idea distances. I mean, it should be an easy course by all means, but we've never played it before. So we all were above handicap. I mean, it was also early in the season, right?
I want to say I was impressed because I shot the highest score according against my handicap, and I won all 3 rounds. That's how scoring works, gentlemen. That's why I get the
we
pen
played 6
every single time we play.
My
And
6
that
holes,
is why.
Warren, I was like even on my 6 holes, and I mean, you're welcome. Like I was hitting.
For anybody out there who needs to win money, just make sure you keep the pen in the hand.
You get an eraser, get a good
Well,
eraser.
and then the flip side of it, we went to Aaron Hills, which everybody on this podcast listening would know. We went to Aaron Hills. Both Ellis and I have played it. Ellis has played a lot more than I am. And then Warren was with us and another buddy who's never played it, never seen it before. And arguably it was a tough day because it was really windy. But I felt Warren, you and Steven struggled more because it was a complete unknown. And that course is, I mean, it hosts the Open. Like it's supposed to be hard. And I feel like there's something that was there. Like I was much more relaxed on that round. And I played much better than the first time I played it because first time I played it was so many nerves that Ellis mentioned, and I didn't know where to go. The fescue's so high, and I was not just relaxed and taking my time. So there's something to say for that. I mean,
well, the pros call it committing to a shot, right? Committing to a shot of, I know if I hit it here, it's going to turn out well. And when you don't know, you can have a caddy sit there and say, like, you need to hit it right here. Well, I'm sitting over, I'm looking at this giant pile of fescue. I'm like, he's telling me to hit it here? Like, are you sure? And then you can't commit to it, right? You're not confident in the stroke because you don't know where the outcome's going to be. And then you get over the hill and you're like, oh, yeah, he was right. Which is a lesson.
And
listen to your caddies.
In your mind, you're like, I can't trust this guy. There's no way. So you might miss a little bit farther than you would. You might cheat it a little bit and not trust him. And no, I mean, there's something to say. If we're trying to get a
I ju-
caddy on here and tell us, like, why don't we trust you?
That is true. We are trying to get a caddy. I just Googled it. Now, I don't know if this is completely accurate, but the difference between Blackstone Golf Club and Augusta National is 5 strokes from a rating or the slope, which
No
is like
way. No way.
so
I
to
mean,
the whole.
they have to keep it together, I guess, but there's
That's
no way.
ridiculous.
There's no way.
Yeah. And
What's the hardest? Google the hardest course by slope rating. And the easiest course. I wonder if we could do it. Like go to the easiest course by slope, no matter what
Yeah,
it is.
Google this so I know never to
And
play this
then we're
course
gonna
my
see if we
entire
can look it up.
life.
The most accessible, hardest course, and then we play them
Well-
both, and we compare it. That'd be kind of cool.
The hardest and the
looks-
easiest. Yeah.
That's a
It
great
looks
idea.
like the Ocean course has the highest combination of slope rating, which is 155, and the course rating, which is 79.6 in America, according to the U.S. Golf Association.
And we have
Played
played
it.
this course. We have numbers. So next podcast, we're going to dive into this. We're going to
Sounds
compare our
good.
scores, and we'll compare our scores on a round of an easy course.
I like it.
Sounds
I
good.
like it. I'm looking forward to it. That's a great lead into the end of the episode. So we appreciate your guys' time again. This is Nothing But Lip. We will see you guys next week. This was episode 10. We'll see you guys at 11. Take care.
Later.